Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm pretty sure you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This can be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. So it's a good idea to have an empty cup. Lady Noble's channel if you really want to see what's up. Okay. Hope you all are doing wonderful. All are welcome on this channel and all contributions are highly appreciated. Okay. We'll start with that one. It's sticking out. We have the Eight of Swords sticking out collective. We're starting with the Eight of Swords energy sticking out. Okay. And so the Eight of Swords is representing some kind of denial or feeling stuck or feeling like you're helpless. So there could be a situation that you feel you're stuck in. You could feel that in the moment, Spirit is saying in the moment, you could feel like, you're helpless, you're stuck. You could be looking for some kind of resolve. And Spirit is saying that you're not stuck. And just because things are quiet and still around you doesn't mean that it's not working out for your highest good. So, in, the world that we live in, the simulation we live in, we have to have the mindset. And just as well as you were programmed to have certain beliefs and thoughts, Spirit is saying you have to reprogram your own mindset and pick and choose on what you're going to give your energy and power to. So if you are someone that when you get in situations, maybe you feel like you never have anyone to turn to, this could be something you have endured your entire life. Maybe you feel like you are a loner. Maybe you feel like you give a lot, but when you're in a situation, no one is given to you in return. And so Spirit is saying for you to put your focus on the things that you need to be grateful for, like life and health and being able to walk, talk, speak, having shelter, a roof over your head, eating every day, being able to do, even that you're healthy, that you're present. Spirit wants you to focus on the positive things in your life and not be so hyper focused on all the dark moments of your life. You could find yourself in reflection constantly about experiences throughout your upbringing, experiences in your current life as an adult, situations that just did not work out for your highest good, that you were not satisfied with. And so Spirit is saying just as well as we, Spirit is saying we in general have allowed ourselves to be programmed with a lot of false narratives, that there's a way for us to reprogram our own mindsets and perceptions about how we see life, especially if you're someone who you feel you have endured a lot of hardships. With the High Priestess here, Spirit is clearly saying it's time to step into your power, and that we are in an energy here worldwide, really throughout your entire life. You need to know that we're here to learn and to grow. And as you learn and you grow, you find ways not to repeat the same mistake you made prior, whether this is something with your finances, maybe this was a relationship that wasn't healthy, maybe this was something that happened to you as a child, maybe this was something that impacted your self-esteem. You could be maybe someone body shamed you, maybe there was favoritism in your family. It happens. But whatever you experience that has impacted you, Spirit is saying with the High Priestess here, you may think that it is something to keep you stagnant or make you feel that you're not worthy, that you're not qualified to live your best life or have the things you desire. But in reality, it is actually forming you and training you to step into your power and gain wisdom. I'm hearing unmatchable wisdom. Okay, wisdom that can't be taken from you. It is to shape you and mold you into being the bright, brilliant, beautiful being that you are. So, whoever you are, and you feel you have endured a lot of pain and suffering, you are not being punished. Okay, someone needs to know that you are not being punished. You may feel that way. These situations were to mold you and to encourage you and to make you stronger and wiser. Okay. And one bad relationship, for someone out there, take what resonates, leave the rest. As you're dating and you're developing into yourself, if a relationship doesn't work or you date someone that doesn't work, it's okay. We are often being prepped and prepared to meet the right person. That's why we have these experiences. We are often being prepped and prepared for the right career, for the right person to marry or spend our lives with. If it's entrepreneurship, maybe you started to try to be an entrepreneur prior and a business deal went wrong or things just didn't go right. It doesn't mean for you to give up and throw in the towel. It just means you are being prepped and prepared to step into entrepreneurship, and stand in your full authority and be successful. So there will be mistakes. There will be moments in your life and your experiences that you're not proud of, but it isn't the end all be all. You do not need to put a period where God wants to put a comma. Life continues and Spirit wants you to continue to live. Don't allow one mistake or one disappointment, especially the impact of how other people choose to treat you. It's about them and it's not about you. Often, when people have dysfunction or unresolved within their body, their mind, their spirit, they want to project it. They want to let it out. They want to release. And though it's not fair, they often choose to project onto other people. So this could be things like manipulation, using reverse psychology, antagonistic tactics and schemes, lots of sarcasm, someone trying to humiliate you, someone trying to belittle you, someone trying to break your spirit, reverse psychology. I think I've said that, narcissistic tactics. Yeah. So, yeah, don't internalize your experiences. They don't want you to ignore. Spirit is not saying to block out what you have endured, but it's time for you to shift your perception because this Eight of Swords of feeling like you're helpless, you're not. You're being prepped and prepared to step into your power, male or female, gender is fluid in tarot. So this is message is for you to be encouraged and to stay encouraged. Okay. So yeah. I'm hearing you've only just begun with the Seven of Wands here. Okay, so have the courage to continue to express yourself in your authenticity and be yourself your entire walk of your life. It's about enjoying the journey, it's about learning and growing, it's about falling and getting back up, learning how strong you are, how resilient you are, learning to be self efficient and resourceful. This is the path and this is the process, Spirit is saying, that you have endured. You know, this is how people become successful. This is how people achieve their goals. No one goes straight to the goal. There are things they have to go through. There are mountains they have to climb. So, and it's increasing your ability to endure, not to be weak, not to be foolish, but to endure at the proper times. Okay. Such as, making progress in your life. Those are times you want to have the strength to endure, like if you want to save money to make a large purchase, or maybe you are on a diet, or you want to have a fitness regimen you want to stick to, those kind of things. Okay. So, yeah, so continue to stand in your power and stand in your courage. Okay. This is not the end. Whatever you are experiencing or you have, something keeps, as I mentioned at the beginning, keeps playing out in your mindset that occurred to you. You are not the things you have experienced. You cannot control what other people's do or say about you. It's about how we respond. It's about, if we're going to choose to heal ourselves or seek help if we need to do so. But you do not have to waddle in that pain. It's okay to be boisterous, and be open and be honest with yourself. If it's help that you need, seek therapy, seek counseling from someone so that you can release what needs to be surrendered. There's an energy of something needing to be surrendered here in this read here so that you're able to plant and, create on new, clean, fresh soil with the Seven of Pentacles. You want to make sure that soil is clean, ready, and fresh and something that is new. You don't want to try to force yourself to move forward and you're still holding on to things of the past, especially those things that are negative or put you in a negative mindset about things you experience. You want to make sure that you have surrendered, not forgot, not ignore, but there is a way to heal and surrender. Healing is a real thing, surrendering is a real thing, just like joy is a real thing. Happiness collective is really a real thing. Um, I'm pretty sure there are people you may have seen or experienced, whether this is someone on the television, on social media, or maybe in your daily life, who comes off to you to be always in a good mood. That person is not pretending. That person is not faking. No, happiness is really a real thing. And so I'm being told to convey that because people think it's a fake and phony. No, it's a real thing. The more you work on yourself and your self-awareness, you learn about yourself, and you also learn about in your journey what's important and what isn't important. And you also learn what's valuable and what holds no value, and that's called the process of the unlearning when you're ready to surrender what you thought you knew. You're not boxing with it. You're not having friction with it. You're ready to surrender and learn the truth, which will lead you to standing in your truth. Okay. So that's how authenticity is formed. It's just being honest with yourself and being in agreement that you're ready to shift your perception and do the work that is necessary. Now, the work may be different for many people. Some people may need counseling. Some people may need to relocate. For some people, they might say, I don't like my job. You know what? I'm going to go work somewhere else. So everyone, we're all different. We're supposed to be different. And yeah, it's different for everyone. But allowing yourself to shift your perception and do the work that's necessary. For some people, it may require maybe, I don't know, getting a divorce or getting a separation or going to a couples counseling if both parties are in agreement. If both parties are in agreement. It's quite difficult to be in a relationship when both parties aren't in agreement, when two people are not on the same page. You could be at the cover of the book and, or your partner's at the cover of the book and you're in the middle. You want to make sure that there's something you have in common besides the physical. This is coming up because someone could be dating someone or in a relationship or romantic connection. And it's not that your partner is a bad person. You are not a bad person. Spirit is saying you could just be two different people. Just because someone, didn't work when you dated them, or it doesn't mean that they're a terrible person. They're just not for you for whatever reason. And that is okay. So the Page of Swords here, representing suffering and worrying, because this is what we're talking about, surrendering, suffering, and worrying, so that you don't feel that you are blocked, so that you don't feel like things are stagnant or things in your life isn't working for you or whatever it is that you're telling yourself. Okay. We have so much control on a daily of our happiness. We have so much control of how our life will turn out and end up. But to come into the knowing of this power, it takes for someone to want to do the work. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen instantaneously. It is different for everyone, but one has to be willing to trust and know that there is more than what meets the two eyes. There is more going on behind the curtain. There's always more than one way to meet your goal wholeheartedly, but you have to be in agreement to do the work that is required. And sometimes, not sometimes, 99.99% of the time, working on self-awareness and progress, it requires changes, as I was just naming. Some people may have to relocate, some people may have to end a relationship, let a job go. This could be a lot of things. Some people may have to cut some people off permanently. And because we all are different and we deal with our emotions, we process them differently. Everyone doesn't respond so easily to things like that. Now, there's some people who could cut you off and just don't care. And they're not looking back to their left or their right. They're looking forward and they're moving life forward. But some people aren't able to take it so easy, so quick like that. But the choice is yours. With all that being said, Spirit is saying you need to know the choice is yours. If you want to be happy, it is a choice. If you want progress in your life, it is a choice. and that goes for any other desire that you have. So never mind what you have been programmed to think or what someone has taught you or brainwashed you to think. The truth is you are in full control and you have a lot of power. You have more power, collective, male or female, than you know. So this thing about what you put your attention on, so be mindful of what you are consuming. If you feel yourself in a negative space or place, or not feeling your best, well, make sure you're doing something high vibrational. Make sure you're doing something to uplift your energy. These are things that the divine wants you to think of and consider. If you're in a mood where your energy is feeling low, you're feeling drab, be mindful, of the music you're listening to, what you're allowing to entertain you. What are you allowing to come into your container, into your vessel, into your aura, into your oomph, into your spirit? It is very important. And also, there's something coming up to be mindful about the company that you keep. People don't like to hear this, but it is a fact that it does matter who you choose to have in your life and who you choose to let into your circumference on a daily. It is very impactful and it does matter, and it can affect your mood, your life, your success, your health, your well being, your harmony, your home, your money. Honey, it can affect a lot of things. So be mindful of the company that you keep. Just as I was speaking of, make sure if it's a romantic connection that you're on the same page. Make sure that even with family and friends, that these are people that you don't get a headache when you see them pulling up in your driveway, or every time you see their number, you're like, oh, what do they want? This is about being honest with yourself. In order to surrender, in order to do this work that is required for you personally in your life, this is a personal thing. This is between you and Source. It's about being honest with yourself. Okay, so being mindful of the company that you keep. You should not be tolerating anyone. If you're tolerating someone, that means that you're enduring something that's making you uncomfortable. And make sure, and as vice versa, you're going where you are celebrated and you're not tolerated. People know and you can feel if someone has an interest for you, or they like your company, or they don't like your company. If someone shows to you that they have a problem, then Spirit is saying to simply not allow, yourself to be in their presence again. Take the lessons that are being distributed and learn from them. Don't ignore them, collective. Okay. So yes, you have more power than you know. hmm You have a lot of power. And there's no need to go to the stinking thinking, the hypotheticals, whenever you are doing anything, what if, but, no buts and no what if. Expect a positive outcome. See the cup half full. Okay. There's no such thing as perfect. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about ignoring or pretending or pump faking. But what they're trying to convey here, that once again, you have more power than you know. And with repetition of remaining optimistic, you'll begin to see a change in your life. You'll begin to see and feel a shift of things working out in your favor. So with the Eight of Pentacles here, it's confirming that work is going to be required. And don't be hard on yourself about that work. Your life and your journey does not have to look like anyone else's. The main thing is important, that is, whatever you do, you're doing it with pure intentions. You have clarity, and that you are confident and comfortable in whatever you agree to partake in. That's what matters the most. Making choices and partaking to seek validation, that's when things become difficult and confusing. But the Eight of Pentacles is saying, yes, work is required, but it doesn't mean that this work isn't possible. It can be done, and it's the little things. Spirit is saying, whoever's watching this reading, don't think too deep. You don't think long, you think wrong. It's the little things. Waking up, being grateful, finding some affirmations. If you don't like affirmations, maybe read some scripture. If it's not that, maybe prayer, maybe meditation, getting out into nature more, I named earlier, if you're sad or in a bad mood, do something that makes you happy. Maybe music makes you happy. Maybe watching certain movies make you happy. Comedy makes you laugh. It's the little things in between. Encouraging yourself, being mindful of the company you keep. And if you're making any changes when it comes to your diet or anything, don't be honest with yourself. Don't try to be heavily drastic, they're saying, and say, oh, I'm going to get rid of everything. They want you to step into things slow and easy so that you can be successful. Your spirit team saying they want you to step into things slow and easy so that you will be most likely to be successful and you won't become frustrated. Because when we try to do too much and we're not honest with ourselves, that's when the frustration comes in. Another good example, you may want to save money. Okay, let's say you get 1,000 a week and you say to yourself, you know what? I get $1,000 a week and I'm going to put up $500. Now, in reality, yes, you get $1,000. You get $1,000 a week. You can put up the 500, but your responsibilities may require a monthly total of 800. So if your responsibilities require 800, you telling yourself I'm going to put up 500 every week is going to put you in some kind of debt or some kind of deficit that you owe, and it's going to create some kind of friction. So that's an example of being honest with yourself and not putting so much pressure in any area. That's just an example that you want to change or see progress in. Make it your own, collective. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether you want to become a singer, a dancer, an actor, a model, write a book, start a podcast, start a YouTube channel, a TikTok, whatever it is you want to do. Build a house, buy a car, get married, an artist, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you want to pick your clientele up. Someone does nails or hair on here. Make it sure, do it in your own way. Make your path an experience of your own. Do not become frustrated because your growth or your progress isn't measuring up to what you see around you. Allow the progress and success of others that you witness to be motivation. Allow it to encourage you. Oftentimes, there are people who witness people become successful or they progress and they become jealous or envious or want to sabotage or project negative energy. Especially if they don't have access to this person, or someone cut them off and they see that a person has made changes in their life. People become frustrated when they don't have access to you, or they can't control you, or they can't have a piece of the pie that you're eating or earning. So instead, Spirit is saying, when you see or witness progress outside of you, whether it's a stranger, a coworker, this could be anyone, let it influence you and encourage you in a positive way. Let it say, let it encourage you. You know what? Let me get up and finish working on that book. You know what? Let me just go hit the gym. I said I was going to step my game up, that kind of energy. So be mindful, as I was mentioning, what you give your attention to. So instead of becoming frustrated with yourself and thinking that you're stagnant, confirmation with the train horn, when in reality you're not stagnant, Spirit is saying don't feed the fears, okay? Because you have more power than you know, collective.